Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nemeka Obiareri. I did a video clip about 11 minutes long on how we can creatively stop the incessant abduction of kids from their schools and the reign of terror that have taken over practically every part of Nigeria. It's no longer news that 280 kids were abducted from their school in Kaduna with their teachers. And the terrorists are making outrageous demand of 40 trillion naira, 15 Hilux trucks, and the 150 motorcycles. That is insanity. That is madness. And we've allowed this thing to continue from Chibok to Dapchi to Kankara and to this one. Nigeria has automatically become den of armed robbers and bandits, terrorizing every inch of Nigeria. We can stop this. We can stop this and we can boost productivity. You know, I've always maintained that security is indigenous. The only people that can provide security coverage over a given geographical location are those who understand the landscape. As strong as the American army is, as mighty as the American war mercenaries are, yet they could not defeat the Taliban. America went into Afghanistan to crush the Taliban because of the 9/11. After wasting billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, they walked away from Afghanistan. The Taliban have taken over. They could not destroy the Afghanistan because the Afghans understand their environment, they understand their terrain, they have an ideology that only them understand, and which is different from the ideology of the American soldiers. They know the terrain more than the American soldiers. So despite the fact that the American soldiers were well trained, despite the fact that they had superior ammunition and machinery, yet they could not defeat the Taliban. The same thing is applicable in Nigeria. We have bandits running amok, 2015, Karau Baraje, one of the chieftains of APC, told us that most of these bandits were recruited from outside Nigeria, from Futa Jalon, from Senegal, from Mali, because they were thinking that Jonathan could not give up, could not easily walk away from power. And those guys have not gone back. One of the former governors of Kaduna State, told us how he went all the way outside Nigeria to go and pay ransom to Fula militias who were destroying southern Kaduna. So the fact remains that most of the people who are doing this are not Nigerians. And that is the truth. One of the leaders of North told us that 7 out of every kidnap case in the North happens to be from those Fula militias from outside Nigeria. In the eastern Nigeria, we have the unknown gunmen. These are local bandits. These are not foreigners. We have activities of local bandits. We also have activities of terrorist Fula militia and the Fula terrorist herdsmen that are preventing people from going to their farm. A woman was telling me a story this morning of how he developed hectares of cassava farmland, and those cassava farmland were destroyed because of terrorist herdsmen. And you know what baffles me is why the governors in Nigeria who controls the land by the reason of the Land Use Act have not taken urgent step to ban open grazing, pass anti-open grazing law. Anybody who wants to rear his animal, call it goat, call it sheep, call it cattle, call it whatever, call it pig, should create a pen, create foliage, and feed the animals under a controlled arrangement. Nigeria is the only place in the whole wide world in 21st century where we still practice this madness called nomadic animal husbandry. We need to stop it. It's very important. Laws need to be passed. But beyond even passing the anti-open grazing law, how will it be enforced? Mr. President, while he was campaigning, I will have to break it down. This may be long, maybe a long video clip, but please bear with me. I need to break it down because one thing that is summarizing things, people may not understand it if you have not given the details. So the real thing is in the details. How do we secure every inch of the 923,000 square kilometer that is landmass of Nigeria in such a way we can take the war to the bandits, flush them out of their domain, flush them wherever they are, and chase them. Those that have not yet dispatched to the devil, their father, chase them out of Nigeria. Very simple. Mr. President mentioned employing 50 million youths into the army. We don't need to recruit 50 million youths into the army. We can recruit less than 1 million youths into the army under a special creative arrangement that can enable us to protect every inch of this land. Nigeria is currently delineated into 774 local government areas and 8,809 electoral wards. Now, what do we do? Peter Obi, in his little corner as governor of Anambra State, did something very unique when he became governor. Anambra was then like a den of robbers. Onitsha was a no-go area. Stories we are told about once those criminals, those bandits see you with a bag that looks like money was there, they will use machete to cut your hand without even trying to know whether it is money or paper stuffed into your bag. They were that notorious, and they had forests where they were occupying from where they take off to do their career. One of the notorious kidnappers, Evans, was also operating in Anambra State at that time. What did Peter do? Peter first of all went to the state assembly to pass a law. And what was the law? Anti-kidnapping law. If your house is used to hold a kidnapped victim, whether you are aware or not, you will lose it. Anambra State government will bring it down. If your forest, your community forest was used to hold a kidnapped victims, or the kidnapper set camps there, you will lose that forest. And when Peter had finished passing this law, he now called each of the 177 autonomous communities, their town union leadership and their traditional leadership, to donate 30 of their sons. They themselves, by themselves, picked their own youths. Because every community knows those who are good, those who are bad, those who are ugly. Every community knows those who are drug addicts and those who are notorious, those who, if you give gun today, they will turn it against their brothers and sisters. So each community comprehensively picked 30, 50 of their sons. And Peter worked with the police and the army to train them specially. I'm not this Peter Obi's model is not what I'm sharing. I'm just giving you an example of where it has worked at a smaller scale, what I'm about to suggest. Peter trained them. The army trained them, the police, and then equipped them. They had guns. He bought innocent truck. Most of those 1,000 trucks he bought, some people are using to play silly politics, was given to each autonomous community. They had innocent trucks. Each community provided gates at the entrance and exit. They had communication gadgets and equipment. Each community had interlinked communication. So it simply means, for example, in Anambra State, from Ojoto, you enter Idani. From Idani, you enter Alo. Very simple. If there is a robbery going on in Idani for now, once the vigilantes communicate, or Alo closes their entrance, or Joto closes their entrance, and all of them are ready. They are mobile, they are with motorcycle, and they are with trucks. So deterrence was the watchword, because there was no way armed robbers could operate if there is no point of entry and exit. P2B adopted this measure. In 6 months, all those criminals were decimated. He got approval from Yahadua to move bulldozers into the forest where those guys used to camp and cleared it. Ivan, the kidnapper, and some of his gang members ran away from Anambra and came to Lagos to come and set off head office in Festac. That was how, in 5 years, 5 consecutive years, the IGP voted Anambra State to be the most secure state under P2B. That is even a smaller model. The model I'm trying to enunciate now is a model that can help us under this current national security architecture that we have, without breaking it, to protect lives and properties. The army is grossly understaffed. Israel, with a population of 9.3 million people, landmass of 22,000 square kilometers, have 169,000 sized army, which is 1.18% of their population. If Nigeria should employ the same volume, 1.8% of our population, that would be about 3.7 million soldiers. We are not asking for that. Basically, we have 8,809 electoral wards. The military should go on a recruitment, but this recruitment is not going to be based on politicians recommending. They will go and recommend their dogs and the criminals they used to go and rig election to give them arms. No. Each of the community leadership, the church, the religious leaders should come together in every electoral ward. The communities within the electoral ward will come together, painstakingly by themselves, select hundreds of their qualifying youths, able-bodied youths, 100 per ward. We have 8,809 electoral wards. I just want us to be very practical here. 100 youths per ward will give us 100 times 8809. That is 880,990 able-bodied youths chosen by their own people from every ward. The army will take them into army training school, train them well, 3 months, 6 months rigorous training. After training them, equip them. Innocent, Proforce, and Nord will produce for us specially designed armored personnel carriers. Very specially designed. That one will take about 900 billion naira to do. 4 per ward, per local government area. We have 774 local government area. So if we should have this 774 times 4, that is 3,096 specially designed armored personnel carrier by Innocent and Nord and Proforce. It will take us 9.8 billion to do. These special forces, when we will finish training them, we provide them with good AK-47 rifles. We provide them with good machine guns, some special units. It's not every time that will carry machine gun. Each in every local government area, of course, they will have almost about a battalion in every local government area. They should have at least 4 armored personnel carriers. And then each of these youths will be posted back. It's not the arrangement where we have army, we'll post somebody from Kara and Moda to go to River State, and he will be manning he will be creating extortion point in the highway without chasing the bandits and the criminals. All they do is to block every inch. You go to the southeast, every 1 kilometer you will see military and police checkpoints. Yet criminality and kidnapping has never abated because those guys do not have incentive, they do not have motivation, they do not have that patriotism, they do not have that blood ties to protect those they were sent to protect. So they saw even their posting as an opportunity for them to extort on the highways, because there is no incentive to protect people. That is where we are today. So when the army has trained these 889,000 youths, 100 from every ward, selected by their own people, you will post them back to their wards and communities, fully equipped. Each local government area under this, we'll call them special army, indigenous army infantry. Each local government with 4 armored personnel carriers. Their job is, and I will tell you how they will boost productivity. In every electoral ward in Nigeria, we've talked about agriculture and agro-revolution, and there have not been any scientific, sustainable, integrated, and deliberately planned arrangement to develop agro and agro-processing in Nigeria. Netherlands, with a landmass of 41,000 square kilometers, arable landmass of 14,000 square kilometers, produces on an annual basis hundreds of billions of agro products. They consume everything. They even export on an annual basis over $110 billion worth of agri products. Imagine Nigeria. So under this special arrangement, we have in every electoral ward 100 fully trained military men posted to their communities and their ward. In every local government area, under this special, we have 4 armored personnel carriers and machine gun mounted trucks. And now, in every electoral ward, we should create clusters of agro park, mechanized agro park, under private public partnership arrangement. That is cultivating, that will be able to cultivate 1,000, we will have 1,000 hectares of agro park in each of the 8,809 electoral wards, which will give us, we will cultivate 8.8 million new hectares of palm upstream, of agro upstream, areas where rice does well. We will provide in every of these agro clusters. We will have mechanized equipments that enable us do rural roads, that will enable us cultivate. We will have irrigation, we will have shared facility, and then we will have processing clusters, plants, where we have 1,000 hectares of rice plantation. There should be a modular cottage factory to process everything that is produced there. So if we do this scientifically, those that can do cocoa will do cocoa. Those that can do rice will do rice. Worst that can do maize will do maize. Those that can do beans will do beans. These military soldiers, this army infantry, under the command of the military hierarchy, but uniquely posted to their own locality where they understand every inch of the ground, will not only provide protection for their people, they will also guard the agro parks and ensure that we have productivity in those agro parks. So let me tell you, under this special arrangement, we will not only produce, we will process nothing less than $200 billion worth of agro commodities across the agro value chain, both cash crops and food crops. We have these things templated, we have these things documented. Time will not permit me to go into details, sector by sector, local government by local government, state by state, ward by ward, across Nigeria, how these things can be executed under robust private-public partnership arrangement, the structures of implementation, how it can be funded. Let me tell you, these special infantrymen, we are not going to be paying them peanuts. Each of them will earn nothing less than between 100 to 150,000 naira a month. We have it marked out how the payments will come and how they can be paid from special levies and taxes from those agro parks that we're going to develop to yield revenues, to yield income under private-public partnership arrangement. Those agro parks will create nothing less than 10 million direct jobs and over 10 million indirect jobs across Nigeria. We will have youths who will have gone into crime, gainfully engaged. These special military forces, we will provide them health insurance cover, life insurance cover of at least 10 to 20 million naira each. How this thing will be funded is so documented under a diaspora mission community private-public partnership arrangement. Creativity and creative thinking are how states are governed. I am a Christian, and the Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God has given us the authority to have dominion, to subdue the earth. He has blessed us to multiply and be fruitful. Any human being that walks the face of the earth has a single duty of adding value to humanity and not taking lives of people and destroying their properties. Any man who is not living this commission of proactively, creatively, positively adding value to humanity is of the devil and not of God. And therefore, if truly we know God and we serve God, we can actually build paradise out of. There is no country so blessed like Nigeria. We have 64 million hectares of arable land mass. 64 million. We have the best water tributaries. We have the best amount of rainfall and sunshine that nature has given to us. We have a working population of over 120 million people. We have a population that is 211 million under the age of 65. There is nothing that we don't have to make this economy a top 10, top 5 economy within the next 10 years. But we need to. This is a temporary measures. Why we go to the long-term measure of totally restructuring Nigeria, both the physical, socio-economic, resource production and control framework back to what we had in 1963. Share this and make it go viral. I pray that those who purport to govern us have run the numbers of what it will take to put this unique security covering and architecture in place. A unique security architecture under the military high command that is tied to agro-revolution and productivity that will inject nothing less than $200 billion into this economy annually, while creating over 20 million jobs, 10 million direct jobs, 10 million indirect jobs over the next 3 to 5 years. God bless you as you share, as we plead for those who are in power, those who have found themselves in place of power and authority to do the right thing and help us to rescue the 133 million multi-dimensional poor Nigerians and put the 20 million out of school kids back to school. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Glory to God.